Yes, Nithyanandam, thanks for your patience. So, coming here. If there's some unbearable disturbance, possibly someone somehow could let me know. Probably it'll have to be a direct Facebook message or something. Seems like the voice is probably a little bit low for now. Okay. Well, thank you for all the opportunities. We're just going to start with Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvanvatitam Gagana Sarisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Thank you, Nithyanandam, everyone. I just want to share into Bhagavad Gita, get into Bhagavad Gita. So we're going to do that now. Hoping to do this every day. So we're going to start today. The link should be in the description. Yes, it is. And you can download your free copy. Swamiji has several hundred books that are free in several languages on the books.nithyananda.org site also. So, without any further ado, let us get into Bhagavad Gita Decoded. Bhagavad Gita, a background. It says, okay, so this is the opening shloka. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute unto you, Bhagavan Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Bliss of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the ultimate sacred scripture of yoga, Yoga Shastra, and the pristine glory of the Vedic culture, the eternal living tradition called Sanatana Dharma. It belongs to the whole universe, for it is delivered to the universe by the source and embodiment of universe. We salute and bow down to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who spoke the Bhagavad Gita out of his infinite love and compassion for all beings. Whenever unrighteousness, adharma, becomes predominant, and dharma, righteous living, declines, and the yoga of enlightenment is lost, Parabrahma Krishna, the Supreme Consciousness, appears again and again to revive this sacred yoga, to protect and to enrich the devoted beings and destroy adharma, to re-establish the pure and everlasting dharma, the science of enlightenment. Dharma samsta paran nartaya shambhavami yuge yuge. This is Sri Krishna's promise and the essence and spirit of the Gita. Gita is also called Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman, the supreme absolute truth. It is Jivan Mukti Vijnana, the science of living enlightenment. As with all scriptures, it is the knowledge and experience that is transmitted verbally as Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvad, an intimate dialogue between Master of the World, Jagat Guru, Lord Sri. It is called Shruti in Sanskrit, meaning something that is heard. Gita, as Bhagavad Gita is generally called, translates literally from Sanskrit as sacred song of God. Unlike the Vedas and Upanishads, which are standalone expressions of truth, the Gita is written into the greatest Hindu epic, the Mahabharata. Part of the recorded history of the greatest tradition, the paramount civilization in all its divine grandeur and its human complexity, so to speak. As a scripture, Gita is Gita Shastra, the essence and the most important part of the ancient knowledge base of the Vedic tradition, which is the expression of the experiences of great sages. Vedas and Upanishads, the foundation of Sriti literature, arose from the insight, vision, and the consciousness of completion of these great sages when they were raised into a no-mind state of Advaita, non-duality. These are as old as humanity, as eternal as truth, and the first and truest expressions in the journey of man's search for truth. Unlike the Vedas, which were revealed to the great sages, or the Upanishads, which were the teachings of these great enlightened sages, Gita is part of the great Bharat, India's history, narrated by Sri Veda Vyasa or Sri Krishna Vapayana Vyasa, one of the great enlightened sages and the compiler of all scriptures and hymns. Gita is scribed by Sri Ganesh, the elephant god, who embodies pure wisdom and joyful spontaneity. It is narrated as the direct expression of the divine himself. It is because of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's direct presence that the Mahabharata and jeweled in it, the Bhagavad Gita, is the indisputable authority of the greatest revelation of truth. The Gita is the sacred text incarnation of the absolute divine. It has the special status and space of the Gita. No other, while empowering the human action field with authenticity to evolve into a responsible divine playfield. Called the Royal Supreme Knowledge and the Royal Secret of Secrets, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. This one sacred book conveys the essence of knowledge contained in all written and oral Vedic truths to enrich the simplest to complex humans at all planes. It holds within itself the direct key to every the solution to every dilemma of emotions, and the sublime, righteous path and goal of every quest of rising or falling civilizations for every age, time, or geography. As a consequence of the presence of the Gita, the Mahabharata epic itself is considered a sacred Hindu scripture. Gita arose from the superconsciousness of Sri Krishna, the Supreme God, the complete incarnation Purnavatar, and is therefore considered Gita Shastra, the essential scripture, knowing which one is liberated from all incompletions. Yanyat and Gita Upanishad, the essence of all Upanishads, the purest and highest knowledge to ever be known and cognized, because it gives direct experience of the self. Pavitram idam uttamam pratyakshavagam dharmyam. Mahabharata is the story of your life, which is the section we will enter into next time. Thank you very much. I wanted to read it slowly because we need to digest this. And it's very beautiful also. One of the things to know about Vedic tradition, like just yesterday, Swamiji was mentioning the book Practicing the Presence of God, that was authored by Thomas. Experiencing Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not exclusive to Hinduism. So he said there was many enlightened beings achieve that space with the guidance of Thomas of Assisi. So I'm just guessing at this point that maybe the Thomas Kempis. But anyway, so the Gita is much more than just words, and it shouldn't ever be mistaken for just words. And reading Sanskrit scriptures should never be mistaken for just words having meaning, because Sanskrit is a language that is decoded, not created. So English is a language that is created by taking various identifiers that are linked to parts of the physical world, whether the physical world be regarded as ideas or objects. So whether it be Latin, Greek, or other language that had chosen arbitrarily a label, even a person's name sometimes, to label a species or whatnot, arbitrarily chosen literal labels to match up with meanings or concepts. Sanskrit is when a sound occurs, and a sound, which is a vibration, because this is where the science of Vedic Shastra never ends, and the science of, that's why this is different. This is not a religious doctrine practice. If we have to actually even say what exists, things beyond the physical exist. Things you cannot see exist. Actually, you cannot even see you. So, in this way, the Sanskrit language is discovered, not created. So, when a sound enters your system, touches your being, it's a vibration, it's a frequency. Higher frequency, lower frequency, higher vibration, lower vibration, they have different meaning. Sound has meaning. When you hear a baby crying, the mother can tell what is the emotion of that baby. Inherent meaning. Whether it's fear or love or patience or being in the unclutched space, sound has meaning. And sound can directly create an experience in you. You, as a conscious being, have a vibration. You exist in this plane at a certain frequency. When you raise your frequency to the ultimate frequency, to always being present, that's enlightenment. So you are a frequency even. The way that you exist and interact with life and everything is based on your frequency, contact with life and experience with life. There's no gap between the Paramatma and the Atma, the all existence and the point of individual existence that is in you. When there's no blockage or gap from that being expressed completely in the world, which is also manifesting Paramatma without any gap, that's the spaceness. So So this is why vibration is important. Vibration has meaning and it has direct impact on your experience. So when a vibration enters into your system and creates that vibration, when a sound enters into your system, it creates that sound. That's what the 5G thing is, right? It creates a change inside of you. And so whenever a sound enters into your system, all your cells have vibrations. Everything is constantly vibrating. Even the, right, if we know about the electrons running around the atoms, they all have a vibration, right? They're vibrating, and they may be vibrating even as pairs. So that's like the ultrasound and everything, right? Sound can be used for many things, right? Vimana, Vedic Shastras use the word Vimana, which, from my understanding right now, means like flight. So the top of temples, if you see, most temples will be shaped just like this. That upper portion, and sometimes that entire portion, is called Vimana, which is also meaningful in a literal sense of being able to take flight, not just that it raises you to a higher consciousness, but physically, literally, that stone can be energized and be made to levitate and fly. So the thing we have to always remember, which is just a major thing that is constantly forgotten, is that you exist. And your source is the source. Your source has to be the source, which means you are the source. So enlightenment is just living as the source and manifesting as the source. So we can't constantly forget that. But in what form is that? So that's the existential form. So the first Upanishad, like our introduction here to Bhagavad Gita Decoded, was talking about Vedas and Upanishads. The first Upanishad is Isavasya Upanishad, and the first line is Isavasyam Idagam Sarvam, which can translate to the consciousness pervades everything. So it's the consciousness that exists. If we say, what is life, what's going on? The consciousness is going on. Intelligence, you are intelligent. So that's what is going on. And see, without perception, then, what would our existence be? So the very existence is in the ability to manifest intelligence, to manifest consciousness, to manifest perception. So our source must be intelligent, because a block of wood cannot create an intelligent being, but an intelligent being can create a block of wood out of a tree, say. So if I'm manifesting intelligence, my source has to be intelligence. Intelligence had to only expand as intelligence, and we all have our source as intelligence. So that is the thing that is pervasive. It's not a physical thing. So it exists in many forms. So what the Vedic tradition tells us is many of these sciences. So how do we get intelligence into our body? Because many beings, maybe many so-called intelligent or conscious beings living in human bodies are manifesting only the quality of a dog's life. Eating, sleeping, and sex. And shitting. So then if that Paramatma, that supreme consciousness is all pervasive and our source, how do you get it to change your body so you can live that? So that's a unique contribution of the Vedic civilization. How to take what exists and put it in a physical form so you can benefit from it. It's a unique contribution. So deities in the Vedic tradition, they're not statues and they're not idols. It's living. See, your body is just nothing but a form, right? Whether it's a stone or something made of wood or something made of metal, a deity made of metal or a deity made of wood, or you have a deity body made of flesh and bone, and inside is an intelligence. So these so-called intelligent humans are not living so intelligently that much. So, like there are intelligent beings that have human bodies or cat bodies or dog bodies or dolphin bodies, they also, as we cannot even see ourselves or see intelligence, there are intelligences that have bodies that we cannot see. It's not that we can see everything. We cannot see love. You cannot see thinking. You cannot see hatred. In that sense, you cannot see you. So anyway, so that whole existence is there. So Vedic tradition describes how that this is called bhutas, the panchabhutas, like the 5 elements. So you have the space, air, and water, fire, and earth. So the space, the existence of that, just pure intelligence. How does that come out as me? So it gets described actually. So the whole existence is existing everywhere. Intelligence is manifesting everywhere. So it's pervasive everywhere. But in the DNA, the particles of the DNA are connected by water. So the intelligence that exists at a frequency and pervades everything manifests that frequency in a vibration in the space. And that vibration enters into water. So there's studies that show that you can change the quality of water just by your intention. So the vibration goes into the water that connects the particles of DNA. And so this is how intelligence manifests as you. Like I'm me and I'm living with my personality. How did that come from ultimate intelligence? So the Shastras describe that the consciousness that exists imbues the water that connects the particles of the DNA. And so that DNA how can I explain the next part? Let me see. It's a little bit longer video than I planned. But that's okay. Most people probably won't watch this far. So then your DNA manifests as fire in your Agni, in your navel center. So this is how the ether gets into the DNA and becomes your DNA, and then manifests as your personality, because thoughts originate in the navel region. When you're having a lot of worry, a lot of thoughts, you say, "Oh, I'm so worried, I feel sick," because that Manipuraka chakra is the space where thoughts originate from. So what is your personality except thoughts, right? Only your root pattern, your personality, your mind gets solidified around the age of 7 because of thoughts. Because once you know enough words to tell a story of your life, of who you are and who you're not, and what your personality and history and future is or is not and can and cannot be, only then it becomes solidified. So only through learning words we end up having this conflict between the manifestation of our being and the words that society has taught us. So your personality comes from words, and the words come from Manipuraka chakra. Manipuraka chakra is the digestive center, the Agni, the burning fire. So that burning life force fire, it's just a mind-blowing science, enters to the root chakra, right? Which is the sex center, or the fantasy center, which is where men are stuck. Men get stuck in fantasy. And then you move up to the next chakra, fear. Women get stuck in fear. Female get stuck in fear. But then the personality starts through the manifestation of words in Manipuraka. And that's where the fire happens. So the consciousness enters into your DNA through water, and your DNA manifests the burning digestive energy of Agni in Manipuraka, which is where the story that is you comes from. So your personality gets manifested as Agni, the fire element, from water particles connecting your DNA, which are imbued by the vibrations of the ether or the intelligence. So this is just incredible. So this goes into chakra science and yoga and kriyas and what you eat, and why just keeping a clean stomach can make you enlightened. Because when you keep your intestine clean, it literally changes your personality, right? Like we know when you don't eat for a long time, you can get really angry or really bored or really lazy. Completely changes your personality. What you think about, what you want, what you don't want, even like complete life negative things like I don't care about anything, you know? So literally you can see how the cleanliness of your intestine directly changes your personality. So that is something to chew on. That is why it's so true. You are what you eat. And like Swamiji said, what you eat is your future. What you're eating now is going to define who and what you are and care about in the future. That is so much true. So I'm going to start a 90-day lemon juice fast right away. And because of this pralaya that's going on, we're going to do a massive thing. Anyway, I'm just going to end it because I shouldn't have polluted this Bhagavad Gita with these ramblings. But it's a science is vast and huge. It's not what people think as a religion. It's way bigger than that. That's why this whole Bhagavad Gita Decoded is saying the greatest truth that's ever been revealed. And because it doesn't say that without knowing. Even Tamil Sangam, I wanted to share just some of these ideas. So if anyone's interested, there's so many things you can explore. Tamil Sangam is a documented history going back 11,000 years of kings, poets, dancers, performers, writers in the south of India, where they started this society to gather every so often to review and create and preserve and develop the best parts of human society. 11,000 years ago, they were doing this. So a lot of humanity only even talks about 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 years of human history. 11,000 years ago, they were doing this stuff. And the writings and things they have from that time go many, 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 many more times, 11,000 years beyond what they were doing. So the general kind of thing about human thought and thinking is very small, and the possibility is much bigger. So that's all. Thank you very much. I'm going to come back, just do a quick video next, because this one was fun. And yeah, hoping to do this on a daily basis, but at least much more frequently than never. So thank you, everyone. I'm just going to close with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parakarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Yes, thank you, everyone. See you next time. Nithyanandam.